What's up, guys? It's Aaron, Gun Club Radio, and today we got a special conversation talking about a multi-million-dollar training facility that I got a chance to go visit over this past week. We pretty much got back a couple days ago, and the only way I could have this conversation and do it justice was to bring Heavy Metal Lifestyle and the Pop Culture 223 podcast on with us today to talk about it. Why? Because he actually came out there with me. We spent 5 days in a little bit outside of Orlando, Florida, just having a good time hanging out with the people. And sorry, I'm trying to get this camera to focus a little bit. And it was crazy. It was good. There were opportunities for the program to improve, yes, but also there was a lot that I personally learned and that I was personally able to get out of it. I want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I can't do that without my guy Heavy. Heavy, welcome to the show.
What up? What up? What up, though, everybody? What up, though? What up, though? I'm here. Heavy pop
What
culture.
up?
What
What
up?
up? It's our guy. Anyway, so today is going to be probably a little bit more relaxed than we would normally do, just because we want to be able to take your questions pretty much immediately if people have questions to help guide the conversation. But just to kind of pop things off, I'm just going to straight up ask you, and don't answer this like Phil and Diana is going to be watching the video because they may or may not. But how was your time overall? When I say like, how was your time at both Ambassador Academy and the WOFT training facility? Well, actually, before you even answer that, I guess we should try to explain what the heck is Ambassador Academy. I'm wearing the shirt. Dianna Muller is Dianna Muller and her husband Ryan Muller, crazy good competition shooters, legacy names in the industry, in the firearms industry. They created a program called the Ambassador Academy. What is the Ambassador Academy? You could pull it up on Google, but or I could just tell you about it, right? And so pretty much it's a program to help to kind of launch the next generation of Second Amendment content creators, professionals, and like industry people. So if you are a member of like a 501c3 or some sort of organization, and you like Gun Owners of America or Women for Gun Rights or something like that, this is a great place for you to go to learn some skills in regards to like video editing and some other things that are necessary for you to kind of go to the next level and represent your organization and yourself well in the space. You'll also learn about how to conduct interviews, how to um, uh, kind of understand some of the situation awareness stuff. And you also get some training for like firearms training from guys who have done it on some of the highest levels available. In fact, the highest levels available. So that's kind of like the overall gist. And they do it at WOFT, the WOFT facility. The WOFT facility is in Orlando, Florida, and it's a multi-million-dollar facility designed to. You see, somebody's in the comments talking about what's Ambassador Academy. I see you. And the WOF facility, multi-million dollar facility down in Florida, that is designed to give you realistic simulation training, as well as a ton of other skills and knowledge that is required to help defend yourself. Um, so, shout out to you guys in the comments dropping in, asking funny questions. And let's get back to Heavy and ask him how was his time at the Ambassador Academy in the WOF training facility overall. You can separate your answer in between the two things, but I'm gonna give you the floor, give you the stage, let you talk.
Um, it was a it was a long it was a long weekend because we got there was Saturday and we left on Wednesday. But the time there through the Ambassador Academy, the whole experience was great, man. It was time. Mia being away from my family was kind of tough. I have never been away from my family that long. Usually it's like a day or 2 days, but we was gone almost 5 days, so that was a little bit to get over. And at first, really, I didn't know what to expect. I kind of was like skeptical because I was just like, "It's nothing here that's going to kind of benefit us where I felt we were at, where I was at." But once I got there and talked to some people and did a lot of the training and things that's going on, my thoughts about the situation changed. I hope real quick. And then even there being there with you, that was an actual benefit like I told you before, us being roommates and kicking it, going back and forth with ideas and strategies, and you teaching me, help me with the eCam and the software and which we should do editing. That was another actual benefit. I don't know, that's how I felt about it. And then the WOFT compound was like this. The second part, the WOFT compound was amazing. I was like, I want this property for myself, because they had training facilities. It was two ranges. It was two ranges. They had a 100-yard bay. They had another 75-yard bay that was kind of split up in parts. So, and they had like so once you get into the compound, the whole compound technically is active. That can be scenario based training throughout the whole compound. They had a helipad. They had a pool. So that experience was great, man. The whole situation, the whole sandwich was great. The whole Ambassador Academy experience was great.
Dude, well, I'm glad that you could benefit from it. I'm glad that we got a chance to spend a significant amount of time together because obviously, two guys in the podcasting space, there's no gatekeeping between us and no trying to, like, oh man, I'm going to get this guest and I'm not going to let somebody else. I mean, we might kind of joke like that, but that's not the case. Like if there's somebody or if there's somewhere you're trying to go, I'm trying to help you get there. And I know it's reciprocated. It's likewise on your side as well. So the idea or the thought that we could kind of go to a place and try to learn as much as we can and kind of take it all in and of course gain those experiences and gain the connections because I think at our level, when I say our level, like it almost sounds like we're talking like we're like big
Yeah,
dogs.
we not Joe Rogan. We not out there with 1.5 million followers,
Right.
but it's kind of like you go to a training. So you go to training. Sometimes
Yeah.
you go to bad training. Sometimes you go to great training. But even though when you go to a bad training experience, you learn something about yourself or you learn something else. You from a bad experience, you can take away some good information. But the Ambassador Academy experience was not bad at all.
No.
The whole thing was great. The people there added to the experience
Yeah.
of the Ambassador Academy. I didn't even know WOF even existed, so that was another thing. Like, okay, I got home and I was like, man, how can I get the fellas down here? We can go to like a birthday. Hey, it's my birthday. We going to the WOF Academy to
Yeah,
learn some
man.
blade work, some carjacking, and just some other stuff.
Right. We can talk about, I guess, some of the WAFT specific elements that we experienced. And I think really day one, Saturday was our day one. We had some, I guess, preliminary stuff on like Friday night when we kind of did a little meet and greet, got a chance to talk to Phil and he did a little intro and we went back to the hotel, chilled out for a minute, um, did some, I guess, some brainstorming, some mastermind type stuff. And then the next day is when the party started. Mad early. And I think if I have one complaint, is why are you telling people to get there at 7 a.m. when my body's on central time? So it's 7 a.m. to you, it's 6 a.m. to me. And so
That was my wife was like, well, whatever happens at the facility, you on a vacation. And I was like, well, yeah, but I'm away from the family. I said, baby, this wasn't no vacation. We was up at like 6:45, and
yes,
sometimes Arm Alex got up late, and he trying to rush down there and forgetting.
chill, dog.
he,
Tell
we
them all about
popping up.
business.
Hey man, you got to play that song. Listen, you have to play that alarm song. You got to play that alarm, bro. That
No, I can't do that. They'll take the stream down because it's copywritten.
okay. Oh,
But
I'm sorry. Yeah, but just
um,
getting up that early
yeah.
on like, and we are supposed to be on vacation, and then we get up at like 6:45. We got to be there at 7:15, and then they start. Diane is making sure everything starts at 8 o'clock. So we from
Hmm.
8 to 5:30, 6 o'clock. So
Right. And so my complaint is also my big compliment, right? Whereas like, okay, they're starting early. They expect us to be there pretty much at 7 o'clock, eat your breakfast, do this, do that, do this, do that. Cause at 8 o'clock, we expect you to be on the move. And at 8:15, the classes start. Don't be late. Like it is an embarrassment to be late. Diana's gonna chew you out. And it's not like in a nasty way. like it's in a very like sweet Diana Muller kind of way, and which is stern, but she's only telling you this because she really wants you to get some out of the stuff. Like,
Well, and then on the flip side of that, she knows how being on time can look to a potential client,
yes,
or being late look to a potential sponsor, or in
oh
the
yes,
business world that could look bad. Well, I
horrible.
referred you to this company and y'all supposed to have a meeting or whatever, and now you late. So that looked bad on me. So I mean, look, it could look bad on her. So
Yeah,
that she was on it. Needless to say, me and you were never late.
yeah, no, never late. Got there on time. Did our thing, and people are asking what's the most impactful thing. Um, I don't know that we should just jump into like most impactful thing. I think we should kind of like try to work through it a little bit because we really haven't just kind of worked through it together, just trying to see what works and what doesn't. Um,
Film
but
and editing was impactful for Arm Atlas.
why are you like this?
Hey man, he was skipping class, bro. Listen, I'm just gonna be upfront with y'all. He skipped every class that had to do with film and editing. He skipped the class. He was skipping class. I'm just gonna put that out
No,
there.
they had me in one of the one-on-ones where we did interviews and whatnot
Hmm.
with the green screen. Did not skip that one, but there were a few that Diana was like, "Hey, I know you have a film and editing class. Let's pull you out of that to go do another one because well, people who don't know is yes, I have the gun review channel Armed Atlas, and we use a lot of the film and editing techniques to make good content there. But I do like freelance video. Like people pay me to do video production for them outside of like this. So I
Hey
don't
man,
know
quit
how
geeking yourself.
beneficial.
Quit promoting yourself on this show, bro. Yeah, stop, use the
Shameless
Arm Atlas.
plug.
Shameless
So,
plug, bro. Stop doing that.
no, but the
And I'm award
he,
winning
I
podcaster too.
suppose if I had another complaint, right, is I was grateful that at some points Diana pulled me out and said like, "Hey, we need you to go do this, like go work on getting some additional content with some guns or do some other stuff, so you can kind of let the class be, and you go work on something else that's really going to benefit you," because there was a lot of people in those classes who really needed the work, and they pulled you out of the class at some point. So don't act like it was just me. Shoot.
Well, and who was I talking to? I was talking to the EDC guy, and I was saying, man, just imagine. I don't know how this sounds. I'm not. Just imagine if everybody there would have had 10K of followers or more, and it was like 20 people. You know what I mean? You know how much content or visibility or reach we could have if everybody there had like 10,000 more followers. Because we was making content videos and connecting and collaborating with everybody. So just imagine how bigger the reach would have been if we was like 250 or quarter million. I mean, quarter million followers all together, cumulated together.
Yeah, I mean that could have been crazy because just of the way that the power of momentum and networking when it comes to any platform, Instagram, YouTube, or anything like that. I do see a few questions coming in, and keep asking those questions as they kind of come to you guys because we will address those.
Ask me
Um,
the questions, because I'm gonna lie. He gonna make it sound cool. I'm gonna give you the real nitty gritty.
all right, so um, that I guess the thing that was tough is the thing that was also beneficial because there are some people there who, hey, they're representative for GOA, they're representative for Women for Gun Rights, or other outside organizations like there's a shooting range that's got a lot of historical um, context to it. Was it the NRA Wilmington organization?
Yeah, that kept throwing me off because she said NRA Wilmington
Right.
organization, but it's not owned by the NRA
It's not.
anymore. They just kept the name. So that was even impressive. It was so many. It was different people coming from different walks of life,
Right.
from
Shoot,
different.
even GOA had Luis and Ali there, and that was really cool to see another organization outside of just like Women's for Gun Rights. Because I expect to see Women's for Gun Rights there, being that Dianna runs that organization too. But having outside gun orgs come in and gain, and someone's asking like, so what, like, what's the point or what's the goal of Ambassador Academy? And it just depends on who you are, right? Like if you're like me, the goal is okay. What can we? Because they have professional photographers there. All right, let me get some headshots. Let me get some photos of me doing some stuff that it would be kind of hard to get by myself unless I hired somebody or contracted one of my guys or subcontract to come out and do it. And not that I couldn't do it, but it's just harder to do. So they got guys with the gear to do it. I'm sure you got some great shots yourself, Heavy, right? And then,
Well, I think one of the goals when you go to things, when you go to training like this, or like, with the firearm or whatever, you got to have an open mind. And like I said before, I went, I didn't know what I was going to get out of it because where we were at. And me and Arm, we kick it a lot, especially on content and other stuff. I also talk to the homeboy EDC guy. We always bounce ideas back and forth. So I got a nice network of people that I can call on to. But the goal there was make you better at some point, at some aspect. It was more or less like a game check. Like if
mhm,
you were lacking in communication, like okay, y'all were cool. Okay, this let's just say me and Arm, we cool with editing and taking action shots and editing on the computer because he was on the computer doing Final Cut and I was doing he would have Final Cut. He was working on his computer, but I had InShot and I was also doing Cap Cut. Listen, anybody look, I got a phone with got Cap Cut on it right now. I might need a couple G's for it, but we ran InShot. So that editing part we kind of got down pat, but the biggest benefit for me was the communication because it was a point where we called it a hostile interview. And if you're not good with interviewing, if you're not good with interviewing, when people ask you questions in the 2A, so they may ask you a question about red flag laws or this and that, and they were teaching us how to communicate in a way that some of our words can't be used against us. Um, if you're good in that area, that was cool. You just got more work. If you wasn't good in that area, that really helped you out. That really helped you out because that just if you were okay, they made it better. They pulled something out of you. They put you in an uncomfortable situation and made you answer questions. So, that was a great goal to benefit for me because I wasn't used to that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Especially coming from, you know, the question they were asking, I can answer them. But remember, they asking us questions on the spot. These are not rehearsed. I don't have
mhm,
time to, do some fact checking or do this. It was like, okay, answer this question now, go, boom. And that's, had to do it.
yeah,
So it was a benefit. Everybody, you after you left out of that Ambassador Academy, you felt better and more energized to go out there and really hit the streets and do your thing.
yeah. I want to kind of follow up on this question because we started kind of answering what's the goal, and I kind of got a little sidetracked, but you brought us back. Appreciate that, Heavy.
Yeah, I learned
And you
that.
said,
I learned that.
appreciate that. Is it to help you navigate sponsors and contracts? We don't really have a lot of contract conversations, my guy, Cali Cool Guns, but we did have some representatives from some larger organizations. Specifically, we had a representative from the board of the NRA, which, however you feel about the NRA, that's a big deal. And then we also had somebody who runs the social media for, oh my gosh, why am I,
Safari Land.
Safari Land,
Safari Land.
which is publicly traded, one of the large gun owner, gun organizations, government contracts, one of the biggest names in firearms gear, Safariland. And she's also worked on a lot of other large profile accounts, name
You
political individuals, and you'll probably um, be able to throw a rock and hit the name that you were talking about, if that makes sense. So she was able to kind of audit our social media accounts and say like, this works, this doesn't work, this is your homework, go fix this, why don't you have this? And it was not in a rude way for me anyways, but uh just kind of help us to focus and say like, okay, well, I see where you have these things, this is good, but where's your branding in regards to these things? Okay, so you have a logo, But this is a personal brand. People come to your brand not for a big logo business or whatever. This is so they can get to know you. So why don't you change your profile picture? It shouldn't be some business logo. It should be your face. And if you want to put your logo somewhere else, you can do that. You know, there's a lot of people there who have instruction, training companies who have some, logo, some boring, lifeless logo. No, no offense, right? As their profile picture, and that's stop,
That's one.
stop. Anyways, so they, it's not, it's just a picture. It doesn't convey anything. You can't see your eyes. You can't see the life in your eyes, or kind of like try to relate to this person. Say you're a female firearms instructor. If I'm a woman, I want to be able to connect with you. And part of, humans convey so much information through your eyes. I'm not like that. Pause. Come on, bro. So,
You know
but you
what?
get what I mean.
Yeah. So the cool thing about Three Gun Beth, because she worked for Safari Land, like
Yeah.
if you was to take a look at her page, it was so clean. It was the aesthetics of it was clean. Three Gun Beth, because some people, when they before you go down this rabbit hole, you start a business or a tag name. Some people may have a tag name, an Instagram name that's so long that it need a period or a comma. You know what I'm saying? And it's you tell somebody what's your name? Is this, and this. So they kind of taught you how to kind of condense it, how to how to construct your page, how to make it more appealing, and how to do different things. On your Instagram page, especially with TikTok, social media. I mean TikTok, Instagram, X. She was a heavy component of pushing stuff on X. And because I'm not on X, I'm usually on like Instagram and YouTube. But to jump on X, because she felt like that was the next platform, and
Hmm.
then she just also gave us game on how to attack X. Am I saying that right? It's X, right? It's called
Yeah.
X, right?
X.com or whatever.
X, whatever,
X.
whatever. And she was saying that X is more like a machine. You just got to keep feeding it, feeding it, feeding it, feeding it, feeding it, and then you'll see the turnaround. But the information and then you also asked her about um how to become a sponsor affiliate, and how do we get our feet in the door, because I was
Right.
also talking about being what did I say? How do we get to a point where they can we visible? How we get
Hmm.
access to people, how we get access. And she was saying like, some companies don't. If you tag Safari Land in a hoster video because you have their hoster, but you got a competitor's eye pro on or ear pro or something else, that 9 times 10 they're not gonna repost it because it's not all Safari Land.
Right.
Safari
If they
Land
make the
stuff.
product.
If they make the product, they want you to be full gear up and down Safari Land. But then she also said that they don't really not mess with, but a lot of people that they do business with is people they vetted for them. They vetted and they've been in the company for years or whatever, or
Yeah.
however, know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that just shows the value of building those relationships, even if there's nothing that comes from it, and continuing those relationships. And you go to these events to build those relationships.
yeah, and that too. And I was also talking to your boy John. What's his Guns Out TV. And he was
Yeah.
like, "Man, you got to come out to events. You got to be more visible. You got to get out there." So, um, even when we was in the class, she was also talking about the network and go out to events. Especially you want to be a recognized shooter, you got to win matches. You can't just go out there and make a video, and then you can't just go out there and make a video, and then expect because you make a cool video and you get some likes and some motion on it that they're gonna pick you up. You got to win matches, especially if that's the direction you want to go.
Right. I mean, there was something to Texas Totem when I first kind of started this thing. I talked to Tote out in he's actually out in like Fort Worth. Cool dude, great dude. And he was saying that okay, yeah, my following isn't like massive at the time. I think he had like 10,000 followers, which is actually really good on Instagram. But it was just Instagram. It's not like across a bunch of platforms, right? And something that he said that I thought was important was um, pretty much a lot of these companies they want shooters, like they want people who can actually shoot and who shoot well, they're not necessarily looking for like the entertainment guy. They want guys who, when they recommend something, people can look at it and be like, yeah, I can, I'm going to follow this opinion or this recommendation, and it's for a reason. It's not just like, oh, this guy told me to buy something. Um, and I think there's a value, and John Keys mentioned it as well. Is there's a value in guys who are actually putting a lot of time and effort and energy into into vetting the gear that they run and actually running it versus just entertainment content. Not that there's not a place for it, but it's in a lot of ways less potent, and I would say personally less valuable. But that's just that's not his words necessarily. So don't say that he said that.
Well, I think it's even with that being said, trying to go after the big fish. Somebody said this. Somebody, somebody of wisdom said, it's not. Don't always try to go after the big fish. Try to go after the small fish sometimes, and you may get a better return on that. So everybody trying to go after the big fish, the staccatos, the big brands, and then some of
Yeah,
them already vetted and have their people they're going to work with, and then trying to get new people on. They may be going to it. They may have a whole shift in a management and a whole marketing team and different people that their ideas may shift and you may not fit there. So start off with
yeah,
some small time companies, and and see how that go. And then you got
yeah.
your now
Shoot, I
once you
mean, you're
start off
right.
that you start off with them small companies that giving you love. Now you kind of really Instagram is really building a portfolio of your work to show and then to advertise to other companies that want to do business for you. And that
Yeah,
was a thing about the aesthetics of the page, because
yeah.
her page was so clean. The colors all went together. The little highlights in the Instagram was, I'm like, man, I was sitting there while she was talking in Canva. So if anybody don't know about Canva, please go get Canva. Learn how to
They
work Canva.
love Canva, and it's for a reason. I actually downloaded Canva on my Mac just because I was like, you know what? If I can find some really quick edits that I can do in Canva that are a little bit less
It
intensive than Pixelmator, I'll probably just do that.
Well, I think Canva's, if you can work Final Cut and Pixelator, Canva's gonna kind of be like, it's gonna be quick and it's gonna be quick. But I was right there in Canva creating logos for my stories, my story highlights, because she had mentioned it, and I watched her page, and I was like, you know what? So I was there watching the page, and I was just like, what? I'm gonna create stuff in Canva because her Instagram page was so clean and it was appealing. I was just like, man, I want my page to look like that. I was archiving stuff. I was deleting stuff off my page, off my grid, and that matters when people go to your page and look at it.
Yes. Um, First of all, gotta give a huge shout out to R Jenkins 416 for supporting the show in a massive, massive way. $20 super chat. Big ups to you. Thank you for supporting what we do. Definitely appreciate it. Why are
That's
you
my
laughing?
bestie, bro. That's my best. He
Oh,
did.
well, I
'Cause
appreciate it. You should
That's
send
the
me
home.
20
He
bucks.
called me. He called me on both phones, and I'm like, I'm in a podcast. I'm on Gun Club Radio. So he want to go in here. He probably got a question about 300 blackout. He want to ask. So you might just go ahead and ask it, because they probably going. Everybody's watching, so they gonna help you answer the question. Uh, Jenkins Constructions or Mr. Jenkins.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for bringing your friends who are willing to support the channel. And yeah,
Yeah,
Californian said
I gotta
Canva
get
is
my channel. I
clutch.
gotta get my channel going so he can get me 19.99.
Right. Come on, man. Support the homie. But you gotta get that thing set up. You gotta activate your super chats when you get fully monetized in that kind of way. That's a big deal. Um, Gun websites said X is weak in my opinion, but they don't hate guns, so it's worth some time. Yeah, I guess so. I think it just kind of depends on what you're doing. Destiny or Nina De La Flores, Fab Firearms, however you know her, she's got a massive following on X, and she talks about whatever she wants to talk about. But whenever she posts guns, it does really well. So
I think the thing about social media is when we doing it, you got to be everywhere all the time. If
yeah,
you got time to be on X, be on X. If you got time to be on X, if you see another thing too, and we were kind of, and a good thing, we was all at the Badger Academy. We was all helping everybody out. Now, mind
hmm
you, some of me and Arm was kind of like a little bit up there as far as what you want to call it. I ain't gonna say level higher than. Well, we had a little bit more skill set, so we kind of
Yeah,
helping
different
people.
skill set.
Which kind of helping people out. But if you can make content for like certain like Instagram, YouTube, and kind of TikTok, you can kind of create this somewhat of the same content for all those three. But Three Gun Beth was saying like X is like the horizontal like videos, so you got to create it different. So basically, I just got out of it. You got to be everywhere all the time. You got to be on TikTok. You got to be on Instagram. You got to be on YouTube. You got to write a vlog. Remember the lady from we talked to Amanda. She's the only. Am I getting this right? She's the only woman radio host in the 2A space that's syndicated. Is that right?
Right.
Is it
Yeah. So
right?
she's on radio and podcasts, and she's
Right.
syndicated
So
across the country.
she was saying, create a vlog, write a vlog, and send it to the paper or send it to a website that talks about 2A stuff or whatever, and see if they publish your stuff. So some people might not find us through YouTube. Somebody might find us through other social medias, but they may find us through the written word. So
Yeah, I was actually asking Chat GPT about that today, this morning, first thing in the morning. Woke
oh, he
up.
was kicking it with chat. Yeah, I talked to chat. I was talking to chat all day yesterday.
So what I was trying to say is, I was like, okay, so the principle, because it's not always going to apply one to one. Everything that say Amanda says isn't going to apply to everything that we do. Especially if you're like, okay, well, I'm trying to reach a certain demographic. I'm trying to reach younger folks. A lot of younger folks don't read. So how can we apply that idea of like, okay, maybe you start writing, maybe you get noticed as a writer for some of these publications. Yeah, you can do that. Maybe you get a few pieces out there so you are everywhere. But let's also apply some energy into some of the other mediums that they are at. Somebody was saying, like, once upon a time, someone's like, yeah, Pinterest is a good place if you want to build certain stuff out. I'm not on Pinterest, at least not like that. And I'm not really investing in that platform. But if somebody was like, by the way, Pinterest is kind of making a comeback, if you go out there and you can build out like tactical vision boards, and if that was a way that you can reach people, might as well try.
well,
And so
they
that's a
gave
thought.
us they gave us they gave us each platform and what's the pros and that's another thing.
Yeah.
So she was giving us each platform the pros and cons, and whatever platform you were good at or whatever one you work on, she gave the pros and cons. If you want to get in this one, they gave the pros and cons. So you just had to find one that fits your criteria, what you're trying to do, and who you're trying to reach, and just attack it.
Um, so I guess now is as good a time as any to answer the question. Somebody said, "What is the most impactful thing you guys learned?" There's a few things that I thought were great. Heavy, you want to
That's
handle this?
what is this Rostic. You go. I ain't answering Rostic.
So,
Um,
the Rostic Arms,
the
uh,
Rostic.
yeah,
The impactful thing that we learned that we are on the right track with what we're doing and what we're trying to do. Um, I'm a big component. I'm a big advocate for scenario based training, and we kind of do a lot of that in some of our two gun competitions. So the low light training, the how to use a flashlight, and I know this is kind of like two parts, like learning that, like being in that situation scenario, because I have trained for it before, and actually getting active and having somebody come at you, attack you or whatever, and
I'm gonna
being
steal
able to
that. Getting active.
getting active and getting off the X and deploying your firearm and all that. Um, that was cool. That was like, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm doing what I need to do, working dry fire drills and doing, just doing other stuff. So that was cool, and not being too nervous in those situations, because even though, and Hope Arm can show some video of it, like we were upstairs looking down at the when people were running their reps. And Phil was like, everybody's getting reps watching everybody else go. But
It's true.
once you got down on the floor and it was your turn to go, you can't tell me your heart rate wasn't going. You couldn't tell me, your intensity level was up. You was on go. That's how I felt. So, the way I train and the things we do prepared me for stuff like that, and that was cool. That was like a big like, okay, I'm good. And then everything else was just like doubling down on stuff we know and we work on, because we could have been totally going left with our approach to social media, and they could have told us to go right, but they were saying the same thing we were saying and stuff that we talked about and doing. And so
Hmm.
everybody was on the same wavelength that was there and that was teaching the instructors. So it's kind of like, okay, we on the right track. We doing what we need to do. We on the right track. We doing good.
Yeah, I appreciated hearing that things are like mostly on the right track, like you were saying. And if we could tweak something, it would be tweak this or tweak that. Like, hey, for my podcast channel, I need to go and get some pinned post to really demonstrate three things. And I got to look at my notes. I wrote some notes down for that. And I think one of them was like to show kind of what the show is all about, and show one of the high performing episodes or whatever, and then also using this link tree like Safariland has, that when you click through, it shows you the grid and you can decide, oh, I want to click this post, and it will basically link, say, a certain podcast episode with a certain guest. It'll link to their specific episode based on people clicking on the grid, if that makes
Was
any
that
sense at all.
it? I remember her talking about that, and once you do it, you show me how to do it, because I
Yeah, I
remember
will.
I must have zoned out, got tired that time. It must have been one of them tired pictures, because I heard her talk about it, and she was talking about Sprout.com
Yeah,
too that
like
she
Sprout
uses.
Social.
Sprout Social. I don't know if anybody
Yeah,
in this on the radio, I mean, that's tuning in heard about Sprout Social. If you're into like what is it? Current social media stuff, look up use Sprout Social and it
yeah,
can help you in that.
yeah.
That was the first time I heard of Sprout Social.
Yeah, no, it's great. It really, everything there got my wheels turning, and I will pull some of the scenario based training videos that I have, and we can critique my response. And I got
Well,
into a
I
shooting.
guess the question, did we answer Rostek's question, like what was the
Yeah,
most impactful thing? I
yeah. I
think
was
it
gonna say I want to answer that before we switch over.
to me, it's like it's hard, because I think everything was impactful, because the scenario training was impactful in the training aspect, because you got some of that. If you wasn't accustomed to that work and you got put in that situation, okay, everybody talk about we can do this, or show videos they can pull a sub-second draw, or they can do this, they can run around do that with a flashlight in hand and yada yada yada. But actually, listen, this dude was in full gear. He had a something in his hand that had
Like a stud knife.
electricity, a stud knife, and he was coming at you like my name. He was coming at me like my name was Patrick McHolmes, and he was from Philadelphia. So he played for the Eagles. So he was coming at me full bore. And if you're not putting them scenarios and know how you're gonna react, you don't know what you're gonna do. So I just think that was for me. That was that part. Learning that, okay, I know what to do. That was impactful for me. And then to add on to the social media part and all that other stuff, everything was impactful. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I feel like that answered the question. Now, I mean, obviously, you didn't commit. You kind of just rode the fence a little bit. You're supposed to say what's the most impactful thing, which I don't
I
think I'm
said
gonna
I
be able to
said
do that
scenario
either.
training was the most impactful thing for me.
Okay, okay, I didn't hear that, so that was my bad. Gosh, I really like the scenario training. I thought it was amazing, but I think I got the most joy um, out of hanging out with Ryan, who is, although he's dealing with some pretty serious injuries right now. Ryan Muller, Dianna Muller's husband, although he's dealing with some serious, like, will end your life injuries, the way he kind of dealt with it. He's dealing with that at the moment. He's known as, champion competition shooter, probably like top four in the country at his sport. Um, Sponsored by Benelli and Daniel Defense, and just really boutique 2011 companies, 1911 companies. You shot one of their guns, which is, that gun is silly good. Like, how much? Only 5K? I guess we could save up. The trigger had no reset. It was, you pull the trigger, you take a breath, and then you've reset.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I'm pretty good with outrunning triggers, if that makes sense. Like I can get on the trigger quick and then wait for it to catch up. But I was that trigger, it was no reset. Even though it was there, it was no reset. It was a smooth gun. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I really wanted to spend a lot. I really wanted to get some one on one time with him. It's
Hmm.
because where he's at and where he was or whatever, and this is knowledge on how he just competition shooting, how he pick up his
Hmm.
red dot quicker, how some of the stuff he did give me some game on how to slow down or turn and shoot and all this. I mean, he was giving me some
Yeah.
instruction on how to shoot and cut my time down. So like yeah, that was I forgot about that because he really
Yeah.
couldn't. We didn't get a lot of one on one with him or
Right.
his
That time
situation.
was what makes me sad is I know Diana's talked about like, hey, I think maybe we should kind of cut that out because a lot of these guys have already shot. Well, no, a lot of these guys haven't shot. And for me, being a gun tuber and a guy who shoots on the internet and tries to look cool as possible, I need as much training as I can get from guys who are actually good. Because you find a lot of local guys who are okay, but there's not a lot of guys at his level and even Diana's level who she's also an extremely well known, competent shooter. Um, to spend time with guys who know what they're doing is sometimes hard to do. So I would love to spend more time with Ryan and be able to do that. I think I especially enjoyed my time with Beth and John Keys, just because they've been in the game, and to be able to sit down and have one-on-one conversation and say like, "Hey, what do you want to do? Okay, well, what are you good at? Well, I've seen you do this. Why don't you lean more into that? Okay, interesting. Well, I'm working on this myself. Um, have you considered that? And just kind of be able to mastermind and brainstorm and kick it back and forth with people in the space who have done it at a high level. That's key.
That's what I said, man. It's hard to answer that question because I think all of it was impactful. Because
Yeah.
even though what was cool was we were in groups of 8, then we went to groups of 4,
Hmm.
and then we still had groups of 4, but we still had time to mix and mingle, get one on one with those people. So it's kind of hard to say what was the most impactful. You just got to go and experience. It was a great experience. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to answer that question. Like the dimes that John, we kicked it with off, outside of the interview or whatever our session with him
Yeah.
was cool. So
That was really good. And now that you guys have a bit of a connection, and when you reach out to him, by the way, DJ Play Nice posted your Instagram handle if anyone wants to go check you out. But the ability for you to make connections, and it's not like these people are on a stage far away and you can't talk to these people. Literally, they're like, "Hey, can I come on your show?" Like the owner of the facility asked to come on each one of our shows.
and I'm gonna tell you what, I'm new to the game when it comes to podcasting, and that's one thing. I was just like, I asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, I do it," and I was like, "Okay." I was expecting to say, "Well, I got to fly to Europe and train this." Listen, we
Which he
was there.
does.
What's the guy name? We was in there with CIA spooks training.
Mhm.
I
You
want
talking
you to
about
thought
Rooster?
Rooster Rooster just flew in from South America somewhere.
No,
I
no,
don't know
that
where he
was
was.
Joe.
That was Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe just flew in from somewhere training somebody, some high classified stuff they were doing.
Hmm.
And he just flew in to help us train. So that was weird. But
Yeah.
yeah, Phil was like, yeah, he would jump on the show. So I'm like, to get people that want, he was excited to come on our show or want to be on our show. Now, will he come on the show? We're gonna see. But he
We'll
was just
find
super.
out.
We're gonna find out. But he was super excited, and that made me excited. I told somebody the other day, I was like, I'm so excited that you're excited to come on my show
Hmm.
because I just sometimes you don't know. You know what I'm saying? You
You
ask
you
people to
don't
come on the
know.
show, you don't know. So that's another thing. Got to work on. Talk to people, ask questions. If they say no, they say no. Keep it
When you've
pushing.
been told no enough times, the yeses feel so much better, especially when it's from people that you you actually admire and respect. Because you sometimes you ask people on the show because they've done one or two cool things, and you're like, okay, we could talk about that. But when you have people who are like geniuses in the space, like this is what they do, and people call them for help, like Phil or Philip who runs that place. People call him and pay him money so that he can come out and help design some of their facilities because this is what he does. So for him to be excited to come on our shows and share what he's doing, I don't care. Self promote all you want. I don't care. It's cool to me because it's like, okay, he respects the process and he understands the power of what we do, and not to toot our own horns, but that feels good. It feels good to be respected by people in the space who are respected.
That's a definite. Like I said, he was excited. He's like, yeah, man, I come on the show. I was like, okay, got me a show coming up. I got some future guests. So that was
Yeah,
dope, man. That was dope.
yeah,
And even that was my first time even meeting Brandy uh
yeah,
from Fortune
yeah. Fortune
Firearm.
Firearms out in
And
California, the only
yeah,
black FFL, and obviously female FFL out there in
that
California.
in California. So that was my first time even meeting her. I'm mad that I don't know her. But I guess I probably would have found out about her through through the mutual friends. But just meeting her, and mad that I didn't know her at all, was I like, man, I should have known who she was, because she was the only black on FFL dealer in
Yeah,
California. So
FFL
that's a
range gun store. Yeah,
range
I'm
gun
sure
store.
there's
So
FFLs. Yeah, but
right, so
gun
she
store.
she certified 3 times, right? You know what I'm saying? Just to be a woman in that
Oh,
space.
I thought you said she started a fight 3 times. I was like, what?
Oh, she could have. She look. She she's something else. But
Yeah.
just for her, because she's a woman, a black woman in that space, and she has her own gun store.
Hmm.
That's kind of like a triple threat.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. It's amazing to see, and the just the amount of cool people who pulled up and said like, "Hey, I want to be here because I want to take everything that I'm learning and like invest it into my company." And we talked about price. I should note, or we didn't talk about price, but I should note that National Shooting Sports Foundation, they did sponsor my seat, and I think they sponsored your seat as well. So the ability to go out there, I just had to pay for my ticket and dinner, and that's all I had to cover. But I think normally
Yeah,
it's like
I,
two or
I
three
think I
grand to
paid for
go.
dinner I think I paid for dinner the last day.
Yeah, you did. I appreciate that. Great looking out, man.
He drunk.
Uh,
Hey, everybody, he drunk all my sweet tea from Publix. If
I
y'all from
did.
Florida, y'all
I'm
know
a I'm a
Publix. He
big
drunk all my sweet tea.
I'm a big sweet tea guy. Although I don't
But
know, man.
yeah,
I was going I was doing a little bit too much with
he was on vacation. He was.
I
That boy
was doing
was
a little bit
down
too
in those
much, bro.
sprites. He was like, I'm away from home, no restrictions. Bang!
I don't keep soda in the house for a reason. Uh, see somebody who knows you, Shane SC, tapped into the chat.
Yeah,
What
that's
up?
all
What
the
up?
homies, man. All my homies
Yeah,
tapping in
all
with
your
you.
people, all the
All my
people there.
people.
Trying to find some of these scenarios because um, here we go. I got one right here. I'm gonna pull up one of these scenarios and see.
Which what scenario? Be cautious of what scenario you pull up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't watch this one already. This is just a low light scenario. Let's just see how it plays out. You guys can judge me and harass me about my response. Let's just go. All right. So just to get back to cameras. Um, there we go on camera. So one of I didn't kind of tee us up to kind of understand what we were looking at, so we can play it back if people are confused. Um, that is the low light training. One of the low light training kind of setups that they have at WOFT, where you're in a big warehouse type room with some soft mats on the ground to make sure that if you fall, you don't kill yourself. I did
Yeah,
fall. I
yeah.
didn't die. we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Um, and basically, we were just running people through the meat grinder. Um, depending on your level of skill, depending on your everyday setup. Like if you carried a gun every day, like actually they'll give you a firearm with basically simunition type rounds, and then like mini paintball bullets. Or on the other side, if you um, maybe carry pepper spray every day, they'll give you like a pepper spray thing, and they'll run you through different simulations and let you work on that. Go ahead, Heavy.
So what there's two things to take from the training. So he gave you a handheld um he gave you a handheld light. Um and if you didn't carry a firearm and you was, you carried a handheld light with pepper spray, they gave you that, right? I
Hmm.
got, got my little
Oh, is that a handheld
yeah,
light?
that's it. That's it. So I got my handheld. So
Uh-huh.
they taught you how to be verbal with your words. Use your words as weapons, and the flashlight as weapons. Um, and they were teaching, how to, ward off attackers, or just be, use your flashlight to bang them in the face, to, slow them down, or trying to, daze them, because some of the lights had strobes on it.
Hmm.
If you hit it twice, it strobed. So that kind of, made your attacker or whoever kind of threw him off,
Disorient.
disoriented. But one thing I picked up when he was talking about, if you use pepper spray and you pepper spray the person or whatever the situation, and they rush you, or they attack you, now you got the pepper spray on you. So
Yeah.
both of y'all now have pepper spray, and both you trying to use the pepper spray to ward off an attacker, but then they rush you. Now you got pepper spray in the face. So I was like, I didn't
Yeah.
think of that.
Well, working in private security and dealing with people who are unruly and or just purely like violent, and having been in scenarios where pepper spray was deployed, some like MK9, which is like a can of bear spray almost. That stuff is nasty stuff, and it fogs. And if you are downwind, if the wind is blowing in a certain direction, it doesn't have to blow hard, it's going to get in your eyes. And I'm so happy that I wear glasses because it would have been worse. Like the guy who deployed
I
it, pink. Me, pink. Everybody there crying. It was horrible.
I came as soon as I got home. I told my wife that I was like, listen, hey, when you deploy that pepper spray, just know that it's a chance that you can get it on you and get it in your face too.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was a I don't know, I ain't think of that, but um, I
Yeah.
guess that's something we learned there.
Well, and that's the thing about like certain styles of pepper spray where it's more of a stream, more of a gel, but even still, you can still get it on you and it can still burn your skin. So really, a flashlight's probably the safest thing, just according to the training that we had. Flashlight's like pretty much the safest thing. I'm gonna play just with that knowledge. And somebody said, "Oh, I didn't know you drive a minivan." I actually do in real life drive a minivan.
My
My
question is, did you know they were come? You said, oh, did you say OSHIT? Did
that
they
wasn't me.
scare you?
That wasn't
That
me.
that wasn't you?
No,
Oh, they didn't scare you? Like
no.
you jumped? Oh, okay, I was just checking.
Well, I mean, I might have just been a little bit like, "Oh, where do you
Were
come
you
from?"
role
But
playing? I was just trying to make sure she was you role playing.
so just to answer your question, because you had a question in there. Um, yes, when you're in the moment, everything feels very real. Like fear is a real emotion, whether the elements are real or just made up. That's why kids are scared of the dark. Why? Because it's a real emotion, and you really do feel whatever it is you're feeling, whether it's rational or not, right? So when you are walking into that room and your heart rate's a little elevated and you're like, no, it doesn't need to be. Literally, there's no trouble. And then you see a guy kind of walk out of nowhere, like kind of out of a dark alley, and he's dressed in all black. He's got a mask and a vest on. You're just like, whoa. Oh, sorry, this thing's unfocused again. Um, and you're just like, whoa, what the heck? He's like, hey, man, can I? Like, I was in the mall today. I was in the mall today doing something for my daughter's birthday. And almost out of nowhere, somebody just walks up and be like, hey, man, can I clean your shoes real quick? And I'm just like, Nah, dude, I'm good. I didn't tell, back up. Like, I didn't do all
You
that.
hit it with the flashlight. Back up.
You know, but I made sure we had that flashlight when we left the mall. Because it got kind of dark and I was just like, hey, got the flashlight. Then my daughter wanted to hold the flashlight. I was like, fine. But
Well, I
um,
mean, it kind of seemed when you did this scenario training, if you want to, it kind of showed people where to kind of go and where not to
mhm.
go. If you were coming out and then in between transitional spaces, if you're leaving the house, and because the car was kind of pushed close to the wall, so you didn't really have a lot of places to move and maneuver if you had to run out of that corner. It wasn't the safe bet was go around back around the Y side of the car around back because you had more space to maneuver. And the car was close to the wall too, so it was some tight spaces in there.
Yeah, I mean, they did teach you. Hey, OG Tank, if you could just kind of clarify that, I'm confused by that. Unless have you understand what they're saying, but it did teach you like, okay, hey, if you got the door, you can use the door as a shield. But somebody can actually sneak in and try to grab the door real quick. Like, there's a lot of little things that can happen that can really throw you off and your ability to respond. Um,
Well, remember he was
um,
talking about it. It may be more than one assailant or bad guy. So
yeah, shoot,
one
robbery's a
person
team
could be
sport.
right. So Robert's a team sport. So you could be one person kind of throwing you off, asking you stupid questions. Do you want some tinsel? And then the other one could be setting
Shoot,
up
let
to
me see if
rob
I
you.
can find that actually. I think because we got a lot of scenarios. I got to go on my hard drive for that. But let me pull up my other scenario. Is it this one? Did I just play that one?
It looked like he just played that one.
All right.
This is right here. He
So
was like, "Oh shit, wait a minute." It looked like you almost drew on him. Did you almost draw? Did you almost draw?
I don't I don't know. So getting in and then locking your doors manually was a big deal. Using
Oh, look at
whatever
there.
the
He used
car
the
had.
horn.
Yeah, using whatever the car has, like using the panic button, using the horn to draw attention to you. These are all things that they taught at the school. Let me see if the other one is here. All right, let's take a look at this video. All right, so I got in trouble
And
for
you
that
know it's
one.
and what's funny? It's Phil, man. Phil he should get an Emmy because he was such a great. He was in scenario, bro. It's like he-
Yeah,
all his everything he was doing was I was laughing. I was like, man, I don't know how to take the guy serious because he was funny.
the dude is an actor. He's a thespian. He definitely should get the what do they call it? Golden Globe.
Tact, Golden Globe tactical scenario.
Right. But as you guys can see, there was a critical error that I made. Instead of using the car to shield myself from the guy who was approaching, like I saw him coming around and I thought, okay, his demeanor kind of tells me that if I assert dominance, I can repel him. So I did that, but I put myself in harm's way, and I'll kind of go back to the video. I think. Um,
You didn't get yourself two outs, two ways out. Just one.
so here's hold on, let me mute, mute, mute. All right. So as we were going around, see, he's making going around the corner. If he had a knife or something worse in his hand, as we converge, I used the light to repel him. But if he wanted to just leap forward and cut me real quick, he could have did that. And so it worked out in my favor this time. But
So you saying what should you have done? You
I
should have
should
stayed
have
at the
used the vehicle to kind of create distance as he's coming around the corner.
You should
Just
have backed up.
like here, instead of as he's around the corner, back up create that distance, and at that point I can, I can draw because I have a firearm. I'm not completely helpless, and if he decided to present himself as a threat, I could deal with it, giving myself some space. But because I converged, he could have literally killed me right here. Yeah. So, but it
See, that
worked
was a
out in my
teachable.
favor.
That was a teachable moment. It's good to have film and tape so you can look at what you should have did, what you did, and then you can say, well, I should have did this. So that's you got some footage to show. Some, to I can fix that next time I do this.
Yeah, exactly. And there's more footage from everybody around, but let me play probably the most. This is
Which
the
one you
moment
got?
where this is the one. This is where everybody was like, "Man, that's a bad man." But also, I got hurt pretty bad on this one. So let's figure it out.
Yeah, look.
What is going on? I got to do a video, bro. Is everything okay? You good?
Okay, they called scenario right then, right? Um, so I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna add us to the screen real quick. How do I make another scene real fast?
You don't have. Ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna go to the video scene here. Which one was it? We're just gonna kind of recap this. Then I'm gonna add. Sorry, guys. I didn't think of this ahead of time.
You should have pregame. You should. We learned this, man. You got to
Yeah,
get it set
yeah,
up.
yeah. I know. Um, here we go.
Well,
Uh,
even though he came up behind you and all that jazz, you were still able to get to your firearm and ward him off. So that was it. Let me say this to the people listening to the audience. It was funny to watch people pause and not do anything when that situation happened because they felt like they did something wrong opposed to this because he said in the beginning he was like never stop role playing until I call scenario. So some of the people they just stopped and paused and because they knew they did something wrong
well, I
and
mean,
then
that's to me, that's how they would act in real life. Not
but
trying to
that
like get anybody,
but
but
but that's another mental block that you got to
yeah,
overcome. Like, okay, yeah, it was in training, and you can stop and then ask questions, but that just showed you right there, like, no, like you didn't stop to ask questions. This guy attacked you, and you got tased, and then you went and you did what you had to do to get to the firearm to create distance, to get away, kick, fight, whatever you had to do, and then you got
yeah.
up out of there. So you didn't
It's
stop. But it's weird to see people that do stop when their mind is shut down because they can't think past what just happened, right? It's kind of like
right.
deers in the headlight kind of concept. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
and,
this
and that's
happened.
that's we saw that a lot. I saw that in a few scenarios, and I'll play a few people's scenarios. I hope they're okay with that. I think I'm just gonna do
Yeah,
it.
we learned we supposed to ask. You didn't ask, so
I didn't
I'm
ask.
glad it's not. I'm glad it's not on the pop culture 2 to 3 podcast one.
Well, maybe we won't, but maybe we will. Maybe we
I
will.
think they cool. I mean, because it was learned. It's nothing. eh, It's nothing about none of the videos that was gonna hurt nobody.
No.
So too bad you
So
ain't got mines up there because
yeah,
I got a couple.
we weren't in the same session. So
I
here's
got
the
a couple of
scenario.
bodies.
Somebody, the one that they set up is somebody was messing with my car, and here's what could have happened, right? So I'm out here, I walk up and I'm like, "Hey man, is that your car?" And they said, "Yes." And I was like, "Oh dang, I didn't think that far ahead. What am I supposed to do after that?" So I just kind of said, "Let me hit the angle. Let me see what they got and see if they got anything in their hand." And all of a sudden you see this black blur, taser knife in his hand. You can see the blue knife hitting my side, and then you see my head hit the rim. Bonk. My body just crumbles, just poof. And then
Hey
he
man,
goes to
please listen. Do y'all remember? No, I can't explain it. But go ahead.
just bah, 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 bah.
Hey, hey, Arm had a headache for the whole day. His
and
head
then
was
and
hurting,
the
but
next
he
day,
had a minor concussion. Didn't even know that he was like, man, I don't know what happened. My head hurt. Come to find out, you hit your head on a 20-inch rim. What you talking about? You watching the
I
tape. He
signed a
hit his head
waiver.
on a 20-inch rim.
I signed a waiver. Of course, I will delete this admission that I signed the waiver
Hey, he was like,
if I find
he
something
like,
crazy.
ah. I got something for you, kitty. Wait till I get to my firearm.
Right. So the flashlight's gone, and you see
He
me
just
going
start
for the
flashing.
draw right there.
Watch this. Watch
And
it.
I feel him on me, so I throw myself forward. I get the draw, one handed. I don't know why I'm still one handed, and then I go
Well,
two
but you
hands.
protect yourself. You know, you got some of that leg is up. You can protect yourself just in case
Yeah,
he try to come back down with the knife. And then,
right. I
you,
missed
you,
the first two shots, just point
that's right.
shooting, and then I get my full extension, and I
Man,
pop him a few times.
but this is good too, because you was aware there was two people, so you got right to her, and you still creating distance, and you
Right.
still moving back.
And
Even
if you watch what happens after that, you'll see it. But I'll let you do the play by play.
oh, I mean, saying yeah, you creating distance. Now you looking around, you you swinging, looking, you trying to find more work, as we call it.
There is a guy
Trying
that
to
I identified, but he's not the threat.
Well, at a situation like that, you don't know who's a threat, who's not a threat. That's why you got up out of there and try to figure out what's going on. Popped
Right.
up, rolled up, and got up out of there. Okay, let me assess the
And you see her go
situation.
for the knife immediately after.
Yep, I had the same scenario situation, but I didn't let her grab the knife.
Yeah, I saw your video, and you walk in and you walked right back out.
It's weird, man, because it's game. I mean, it was game time, so I was like, "No, they trying to." I went through so many times. I was like, "They trying to get me, and I'm not about to fall for it." So I was just like, "Peace, you can have it."
Yeah, there was one, and I don't have that video here, but there was a trash can right in front of the other side of the minivan, like right over here by the driver's side. And I
Yeah, the
walked up
green.
to
Yeah.
it and I saw it. I was like, nah, this is set up. Something's wrong. I got to go back in the store figure this out. And so I
Well,
left.
well,
I
you know,
I didn't do that the
you
second
got,
time.
some people got, some people come from certain places. They got spidey senses, and my spidey senses was going off. Uh, my spidey senses was going off. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. This don't look, this look a little suspicious.
All right. That one. Okay, so um, gun website said, Q, you're bleeding out there too, eh? Or did you go for stopping that injury? So in the how long is this video? Freaking from point of injury is here, 12 seconds to leaving and getting back into the store. Um, it's up to 23 seconds. So there's like 10 seconds. It all happens so fast.
Yeah,
Um,
they don't. Yeah, listen, this is just a video. Slow down, but I guess his question is, did you stop to look if you had injuries? I mean, you know
um,
how to. Is
yeah,
that
I
was
mean,
his
no,
question?
not then and there because it's not a good place to assess. We're not
Well,
in a safe space. But once you left, you can assess that,
I
like
mean,
in a realistic place.
right. I mean, people, you don't want to get a knife fight, right? You rather not get into a knife fight because you don't know where you got cut. So once your adrenaline stop going and you can assess what's going on, yeah, start packing
Yeah.
and covering and taping and gluing, whatever you can do. But they called the
Well,
scenario after he walked out, so it was kind of
yeah,
like game over. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Scenario done.
Which I might not be answering your question correctly, so forgive me if that's the case. Cali Coolgun said, you won't even know you're injured until after. Yes. And now, if you are trained in like security, um, or at least the security school that I was trained in, they make you PESC, which is basically you take your hand and you wipe down all your major artery points to ensure that you're not bleeding out of any, major arteries, so you can assess and fix that ASAP.
I'm gonna say
Um,
this. I'm gonna say this, guys.
yeah, it's true.
Arm Atlas had his tourniquet on him every day, so he's equipped and aware to deal whatever he had to deal with because he carried it every day. I had to, I started carrying mine because he had his. I was like, man, why I don't have mine on me?
Because you never know what's gonna happen. Listen, Nina De La Flores, the homie Destiny, she got into a bad car accident. She has a nasty scar to prove it, just all upon her arm. And I'm just like, after seeing that, and I know people are like, oh, if you carry a gun, you should be able to patch holes and all that. I'm like, what if I get into a car accident? You know? And then
Well, yeah,
I've seen a guy get shot on the range, like in December, and I'll tell that story at a later time. But after
yeah,
that, I was just like, yeah, I got to carry a tourniquet.
yeah. I mean, it's tourniquets in my bag. Another great class to always take is stop the bleed class. That should be
Mhm.
like a class that's in that rotation of classes. Like when people start thinking of classes to take, I should take a handgun this, advanced that. Put a low light and a stop the bleed class in there because the
I don't know what
homie
anybody else's lowlights are doing, but I yeah,
because
this one.
it's crazy because the EDC guy, he had a situation. You can probably reach out to him. He had a situation that he had the same situation where somebody shot themselves inside, unalive themselves
Intentionally.
in the at a gun range,
Yeah.
and he had to deal with that. The homie Gladiator Six, they had a training. They were doing some training at one of his events, and it was a car accident down the street, and his guys left and went there and aided those people that was in the car accident. So
Just
them
huge. I
tourniquets is
actually saw him.
huge
He was doing an Instagram live one time, and a car accident happened in front of him, and he was able to stop and go see if he needed to assist in rendering aid.
right so that
It's-
so you probably use stop the bleed and that more than you use your firearm
well, I'll
sometimes.
tell you this: in my as a security officer, depending on the venue, we've had more medical incidents than violent incidents. Say at like River Run, which is a venue where there's like ATVs and such. The people during the day, people are fine. No one's violent. No one's people just trying to have a good time. Or you get banned from the park. But let's say all-terrain vehicles and such. But people do flip. People build out their rigs really nice, and then they fall over on top of them. People fall into ditches, and you have to go render aid. When I'm doing security at my church, guess what? Most of the time, it's not anything violent or crazy. Most of the time, it's someone passing out. While I was gone, um, actually, no, it was this Sunday, but I was somewhere else. Um, I saw it in the group chat. My wife was sending me a text like, "Hey, I think someone's having a medical incident." And I was like, "Okay, is security handling it?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's actually some blankets and such that they had trying to, give people privacy because the lady had fallen." And it just, I'm telling you, as somebody who's carries a gun for work, most of the incidents, unless you're in a really high violent, you know, kind of scenario or place, it's mostly going to be medical
Mm.
most of the time.
So I hope
So,
that answered the question. Did they have any other question in that scenario?
yeah, yeah. If anybody else has questions, drop it. I know Black Powder said adrenaline is a great way to forget things until it runs out. Always carry an IFAC. Yeah, definitely carry an IFAC. Um, and learn how to
well I,
use your IFAC because there's a lot of cool
well
stuff in it that's hard to use.
I guess that too, because they were asking for feedback. I guess that's something that we should put in there, or email, or saying, it'd be
Yeah,
cool to also, show how to use the IFAC in that situation,
yeah.
to add to the experience of the scenario. Because it was a lot of stuff that it could have been a little different or added, but it was great.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that's something that people should pursue. Let me see. I think this is the hard
DJ,
drive that I have.
who was it? DJ Play Nice. Is
Yeah,
that
our
local,
moderator.
or where is that Stop the Bleed or
I think
.org? Is
that's
that
a
just?
think that's a international thing, not international thing, but let me click through the link.
Like Red Cross,
S-
like the Red
this
Cross or
American
something.
College of Surgeons, how to find a course. It's like a national map type thing.
Oh, so you just go in there and find a course in your local
Yeah, yeah.
area. That's that's
Find a
good.
course
That's
near
something you should
you.
post because that price is a free class. Sometimes they be free.
Yeah, let me actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna, how do we, mm, was it Safari? I'm in Safari. There you go.
I don't know.
Yeah, here we go. And so once I'm click through, it actually gives you like a map. Let's say, what's your zip code?
48237.
None. Okay.
Dang, they want you. They want us to bleed out here in Michigan.
Yeah, you're done. Let's just say Texas, because the great state of Texas. Search. All right, stop the
Damn.
bleed everywhere.
Well, you should have
Fort
put
Worth,
Michigan in. They're probably not in my local area. Should just put
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, they got a few. Detroit. What did you say your zip code was?
That's I'm 482 So
Okay, so
that's
it's
probably
a
in the
different one.
city.
482.
That's Warren Ave. I know where that. I mean, yeah.
So they,
I
they
looked
got a
that up.
few.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right, let's get back to it. Uh, so the question came up. Now that you've been, what would you do different next time you attend Ambassador Academy again, or if you attend Ambassador? Oh, I don't think it's anything that I could do differently. Let me maybe Heavy. What you got on this? Because maybe I'm reading it wrong.
No, you read it. You read it right. What would you? Um, One thing I would do equipment wise, I probably would have brought my extended battery charger because my phones kept running dead when I was trying to create content,
Yeah,
and nobody had a charger for me. So that's one thing.
yeah.
Um,
I kept an extended battery pack. That was clutch.
well, let me say this: I didn't even know about it until Mr. Arm Alice told me about it. So I was really unaware of what to expect and what to prepare for.
Yeah,
We
you were
knew
super
about this.
skeptical.
I'm always like that, bro. Is it maybe it's more?
Ain't
It's
nothing
growing
wrong
up.
with it. Ain't nothing
It's
wrong with
grown.
it. I was just saying.
It's growing up. So I didn't know what to expect, and like the communications and the stuff that you're gonna learn, and photography and all that. I was just like, yeah, I was just like, because I was like, I don't know, what I'm saying, like
You
photography,
said whoop whoop whoop.
I mean, that ain't no, I'm not a photographer, so I don't know, I'm not taking a camera out there to shoot photography. So I didn't really know what to expect, but
Mm-hmm.
going in, if I was to go, have an opportunity to go another time, I probably would have more questions about social media and YouTube. Like you really get into the analytics because we were supposed to do uh, profile audits to get more into the profile audits and find out what works and what don't work. Because we didn't really get into it till like the last day.
Yeah. Gun website says, is this facility in the country, right? Kinda. Like it's well, yeah, it's once you kind of get out of the town, it's deep into its own little
It's
like
weird,
a
man, because you in the city and then all of a sudden it's just dirt, and then it's just all sandy roads, and you see nothing but 20 to 30 acre plots with people just farming, and then here goes the
yeah.
compound right there.
Yeah, it's really interesting how the whole setup is, but it's nice. It's clearly a lot of money invested. There's ranges there. There were ranges there that we didn't even really use because they're still kind of in progress. Really, Phil has crazy vision for what he wants. Like he's got the covered range that's like a little golf course almost. Like it's got a covering and it's got fans, so you got like outside air circulation, but you also have coverings to really protect you from some of these elements in snow and rain.
Well, that was his thing. He wanted you to have the experience regardless of the environment that was happening. If it was raining, he didn't want you to miss out at all.
Um, you said get the GoPro rig with the strap. I'm not a big GoPro guy anymore. Like I've had two GoPros at this point. I think I'm on the 12 or the 13. And I don't think it would really be great for this scenario just because they're so big and heavy. Maybe you could strap it to your chest or whatever, but the shoulder mount's not great. Um, Maybe like a backpack mount for when you're out there shooting and hanging out. But
Yeah, I
your
mean, I think
glasses
all.
setup was probably the best one.
Oh man, where my glasses at? Those Ray Bans, Metas
Did you get
were.
anything good?
Yeah, I got a lot of that that scenario was all through my Ray Bans, and it picked it up perfect. The Instagram I posted today, most of them pictures were from my Ray Bans. So that them Ray Ban Metas were, especially for as a content creator in the 2A space, those boys are a must have.
Yeah.
That GoPro. The thing about well, content creating things we do, I'm still not like I like to shoot. I like to train. So to have cameras and to create content with your phones and all this, that still is kind of like new. I'm trying to figure that out, right? Because I like to shoot. I want to get busy. I want to get active, and sometimes that stuff can just slow you down. So I mean, that's my. I mean, although I shoot content and videos, but like I got the 360. What's the Insta 360? That little
Yeah.
clip. I seen Barber had one, and I asked him what it was. He told me it was an Insta 3, so I ordered. I got one of those. Those are cool. We tried the GoPros on the gun, on the rifles, and on the hats. It just, you know, I think the Metas is the best ones, honestly.
Yeah. Just as like a professional content creator, I think it's probably the best one. We're gonna take one more question, then we need to talk about these things as
I
we
don't
have
have
a
one yet. I couldn't do that. I didn't.
well, I'll talk about it. You got to
Okay.
sit back and hang out for a minute, and maybe one day you'll get one if you play your cards right. This guy. Um, Question: Was there classroom training too? Right? Like, did topics of AI come up at all? Did topics of AI come up at all? Woo wee.
That's all.
Yes.
Listen, yes.
Yes.
Chat GPT was popping. Chat GPT was popping through the whole.
Hey man,
Somebody said,
you're giving me a memory about one conversation about chat that
"Man,
was
did somebody
interesting.
ask like who is Chat? Did somebody say that? She's like, what is? Did she say what is Chat? Or who is Chat
Yeah,
GPT?
something like that.
I, something like that.
Something like
So,
that.
the AI did come up, and the only thing I would say that I that they can add to the Ambassador Academy is current and up to date strategies with chat because that's still an evolving world. Because some people can use chat in different ways or prompts or how to talk to chat. And my advice was just like somebody told me, just talk to chat, ask it the question. Um,
Yeah,
but like learning more ways to incorporate AI into your workflow, if that's your thing, then yeah, they need to add that.
yeah. Hey, Jamarcus, welcome to the show, man. Um, Absolutely. I saw some people like Beth, who works for the big companies. She was saying like she loves chat gpt and AI for like ideation type stuff, like coming up with ideas and analyzing data. And personally, I love it for analyzing my data and breaking down like my analytics. Say if I need to pitch a company, I'm plugging in all my data, and that's what I'm doing. But and if you join our Discord group and go over to the inside, if you tell me you're a content creator and go over to Inside Baseball, I'll actually tell you guys how to do that. I think that's something that we should share. Heavy has already heard my whole spiel. It's a 2 hour spiel, um, but I think there's some value in that. That said, um, you look
Yeah,
disappointed.
like I said, that's a big part. Like that's another aspect of to your whatever you're trying to do is an AI because it kind of cuts down the workload and it helps you process and think. You could not. You could be more of a camera person or whatever, and AI can
Hmm.
come in there and help you. So she did have ways to strategize and talk to AIs, and chat is like the main one.
Yeah.
And then kind of went
And
from there.
there's some others, but I think chat's just like
But then
the
she had
one.
we haven't gotten it yet, and then maybe because we was supposed to get an email from them from her about like a list of the different social media things that we should be adding. I don't know if you got an
Yeah.
email.
Yeah, I haven't got that email yet. I'm gonna have to stay on her because I'm sure she's busy trying to get caught up with work, right? Um, but there was gun website said really, yeah. And I think the only thing that we didn't have a consensus on is using AI to create like visual art, because there's some ethics and questions behind that and copyright.
Yeah,
And
I'm
why don't we
against
pay
that. I'm
people?
against that move.
Yeah, I mean, I've used it to create some stuff, but it's not preferred. And in fact, I would, in my opinion, if you come up with an idea and you're having a hard time like getting that idea out, that's fine. But if we're talking about true published art, like t-shirt art and stuff like that, I think you should maybe get your idea and then go to an artist and see if they can make something better. Um, maybe around an idea. But that's just my thoughts. There's people who would think that's even too much, too far. Um, but while I have you guys, I need to talk about the giveaway that we got going on. So I'm actually going to be giving away one of these. Shooters Global reached out to them with their conversations and some of the cool stuff that they have um, post shot show, and I said like, hey guys, Shooters Global, can we get some of your stuff to give away to the good people of Gun Club Radio? This is really big deal for me, and we'll use your stuff. We'll use your stuff on the Armed Atlas channel. We'll use your stuff on. We'll show it off. And so what we'll do is they sent me the shot timer too. If you want to watch me kind of implement that in my training, go to Armed Atlas YouTube channel. You can kind of see what's going on there. But I actually want to unbox this right now, live, and we'll see what the experience is like. I've never opened this. Clearly, you see the little thingies, and let's see. Yeah, uh, broke my heart. Here we go. And oh, it's kind of tiny. It's not big at all. All right, and that's the shot timer. Not a lot of controls. USB-C rechargeable, and the little you see where the bell sound comes from. The Bully beeper box is truly a little box, and then it's got little accoutrements in the box, the clips and the lanyards and the charger cable. So glad it still comes with the charger cable, but not the brick. Come on, guys, we can do better. And any life, any charge? Yeah, here we go. And these things are great because you can dry fire with them. They change the sensitivity. Oh, that's a really bright little screen. That's pretty sick. And if you want one of these, I will give it to you. All you have to do is help me with the goals that we have. We're trying to grow our Discord community. If one of you could drop the link to the Discord community, that would be amazing. And as soon as we reach across all our membership platforms, as soon as we reach 30 supporters, we'll unlock the first level of the giveaway. So SG timer's battery is insane. Yes. So that's gotta go. I can't keep it. Um, we'll keep one for content. We're gonna get rid of the other one. And head over to our Discord. If you're not on the Discord app, that's too bad. Get over there. Join us on Discord. And if you're just like, dude, I don't want to do Discord. I don't want another app. Fine. Join us here on YouTube. Become a YouTube member. There's a little button kind of at the bottom or at the top. You can actually become a member. It's like $5 a month. It really supports the show. And of course, you can basically at this point join the giveaway. But I gotta get you. I gotta get you the link. So while we're getting Heavy back on the show, I'll go ahead and post a link for you to join the giveaway, and let's go. Hey, Heavy, welcome to the show. You missed it. I
Welcome
saw
back.
you got up, you went to the bathroom, you did all the things, you had dinner, you came back. Just like, bro,
Hey, I went up there. Wasn't no dinner. So I don't know what's going on.
what's going on, bro? You were gone for 5 days, just 5 days. They're all
Well, I
like,
seen you was
nah,
giving away stuff. I missed all that.
yeah, I'm gonna give that away. But it's bro, it's so nice. It's just like super little. Like, look at this thing. It's not big at all. Apparently, the battery life is insane. And Amber's in the chat. Amber's in the chat. I guess she saw us. She saw us chatting. She was like, "Hey, gotta contribute."
What up? What up, Amber?
Yeah,
What up,
Amber was
though?
actually there because we talked about it. Oh, did we talk about it on the show? But Amber was there. She was doing her thing. She was one of the only people that I was really concerned about whipping me in the contest. Um,
The
Ended up being
video
somebody else who
editing,
took it.
doing a video contest. At
Yes,
the
yeah.
end
There
of
was a video. Thank you. There was a
yeah,
video editing contest,
clarify.
and first of all, she did whip me in shooting. Like, she can shoot. Let's
Well,
just put that out there.
I beat you and Diana and Pig. So
You did. You beat. Well, you beat both
you
me and
took
Diana Muller.
yeah,
Yeah.
you took some L's that day. You took some
I
L's over
took a
there.
few, and I'm big enough to say that. I'm big enough to say that. I'm big enough to say that. Oh man. But guys, go ahead and join the Discord community. If you join the Discord community, I'll give you all the information you need to know about getting in that giveaway. And
Oh, how do I? Oh, I wonder.
you're already in the Discord,
I know. Hey, I was gonna say, go ahead and follow Pop Culture 2 to 3 podcast on YouTube.
dude. Let's pull up your.
I
Well,
don't know how
I'll
you
let
do that.
them do that on their own time. But tell me, I know you said you had a show coming up that you were excited about. What's the next show going to be about?
Um, this man. So here we go. The next show we had the gentleman. We had a rescheduling. It was his name was Benjamin Nevers, and he had a house invasion. It was in Dearborn, Michigan, and what happened with the two people came in and they got in a gunfight, and he was able to ward off some of the guys. I guess he shot one of them, and they ran. But what the situation was, they ran up in his house. They tried to break in through the back window. He heard them. He kind of got cornered in his bedroom, and by the time he seen him, the guy had shot at him, and then he returned fire. But his girlfriend or something caught a stray in the back, and but she's doing okay now. So I was supposed to be doing an interview with him this past Sunday, but it didn't work out. So we got to reschedule it. So hopefully we can get it done by next week, next Sunday. Other than that, we got some fillers out there. So I'm just waiting to see what come back to jump on here and do some more podcasting. So
All
I
right.
think the next one I may do, I don't know, since we doing this one, I was going to talk about some of my experiences at the WOFT, the Ambassador Academy with some of my scenarios
Well, you
for my
should.
audience.
You
Well,
should.
I am.
Since you didn't since I didn't ask you to send me videos in a timely manner anyways. So you should definitely
Yeah, I'll probably
break
walk
down
them
your
through some of
stuff.
the. 'Cause we showed a little. They showed some blade work, the other stuff we were doing in there. We had a blade work class. We was working on we had knives, dummy knives, and we had sticks. So we was working on some of that. So I got some of
Little
that
stick work.
footage, little stick work. So I got some of that footage, and then I got some of my scenarios on there, and I'll tell you why. What was my thought process behind that? Probably like a 30-minute video just to show some of my scenarios that we were doing. Um,
Hey, just sub to the channel Pop Culture. Dude, Heavy is the dude. Like, if y'all aren't checking out his stuff and staying with him, like, I don't know why you're here. Like, he's one of the guys who supported me in
show
my
some
work.
love, everybody. Show some love. Show some love. Show some
Show
love.
some love.
Show some love.
Uh,
Let me catch.
he
I'm trying to
said,
catch that rhythm.
hey, Amber said you did great in the low light scenario training. Look at you getting all sorts of praise.
Who said
What's
that?
going
She
on?
talking to me?
Amber. Yeah, she talking about you. You did great. And then Brandy's over here playing Freddy versus Jason.
That'd
We
have been
forgot about
cool.
that.
That'd have been cool to try to get Brandy on, or
Oh,
even
we can. We can do that
or even well,
soon.
yeah, with Amber there, or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, we could. If Amber's got time. She can hop in. I know it's sometimes a little harder for ladies because they want to get all did up and done up. So I want to put them on the
Ha!
spot. Hey, I'm just keeping it a buck. Stop. I'm being serious.
And but see, you think with Brand, she in Cali, so what time is it
Mm-hmm.
there?
Oh, it's early for them. It's early for
Hmm.
them. But we're not gonna stay on too much longer. But if Amber does want to jump in for a few minutes and just share her thoughts, I would love it if she would. Just say so in the chat, and then I'll send you a link so you can jump in. Um, you
Is my
see, you gave me a hard time, Heavy.
in the
You
middle of a
gave me
hair
a
point?
hard time. I was right.
What?
I've been wrong before. Listen, I said, listen, ladies need a little extra time to get ready. And she said, I don't even need extra time. I need a lot of extra time. I'm in the middle of a hair appointment.
Yes. Okay. Tell her throw a hat on. Jump on here. Throw
He
that.
said, throw a hat on. He said, tell the girl to hold on.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Tell her to throw that hat
He
on.
said, give me like 30 seconds. No, but you could literally, and I'm not going to press the issue, but you could hop on right now, unless it's like stupid loud in there. I don't care.
Who
Um,
is that?
I'm talking about Amber. Black Powder Podcast said, I thought I was subbed. I am now. Congratulations. And Nate's laughing at me. Don't laugh at me. Be supportive.
Play that video again. You.
Which one? Which one?
When you hit your head.
Oh, you talking about this one?
When you got tased.
You talking about?
Look at
You
that.
talking about? Boom.
Bam.
Bah. Bah. Bah.
Concussion.
Bah. You just see my whole body just like crumble into it. Just boom. Mm. Jeez.
You
Oh
got you
man.
gonna you gonna have to show me that trick how to make the audio play because I didn't know how to do that yet.
The audio?
Well, when you bring the video in into the software, how do you make it so it plays the audio?
Oh yeah, I got you, bro. That's easy. He said the dive special. Hang on. Oh, you know what? That's absolutely the case. That could be. She could be
She caught in
literally
a
half.
half afro, half braid.
I mean, that's you said middle of a hair appointment. That's the reality, and we need to
It's
respect that.
it's 11
We need
o'clock.
to respect that.
She got
So,
that doobie on her head, or whatever they call it.
what'd you say? What'd you say?
Yep. She got the hairnet on. She don't want to show her face with the hairnet.
Yeah, it's it's a real thing. It's a real thing. We got to respect that. Um, ooh, I'm looking at my footage, Ambassador Academy footage, because I brought a whole SSD with me right now. Oh man, which one is which, bro? Because I'm about to play one or two. I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. Oh man, she said it's absolutely the case. Hey, listen, let's just be aware of the realities.
It was
She said
like
a bonnet.
they was like Amber has so. Oh my God, Amber, she has the prettiest hair. They was loving you down there, Amber.
Oh yeah, they love Amber. They love Amber. Um, so this is a legitimate question. Which hurt first, the tase or the dang? I didn't even read the full question. I just the tase or the tread. Um,
He probably he, the tase. He like, oh, he got me. He like, I'm supposed to be Arm Atlas, and I got. He's probably his manhood. He like, oh, they got me in the back.
they said they really tase you for real. It's not a full power taser, so you don't get
Hey,
um
Yes, they tased us for real, bro. I try to tell
Yeah,
you, they really tased us. Well, they
yeah.
tased them. They didn't get your boy.
He said I'm supposed to be armed up. That's what I tell my kids, So
That thing was loud. You heard it go well, woo. That thing was
it
loud.
really is. It's like
It was
once you hear it, you're
loud.
just like, oh snap.
So I don't know if it was the shock of the tase or the shock of the sound, but it wasn't it was loud.
Yeah, let me see if I can't pull some of these in from the SSD. Oh no, that wasn't a full one. Hold on. Oh man,
Mm, mm, mm.
this is Aja. I'm gonna turn it down because she gets kind of loud. Using your voice, it's a big thing.
What? Okay, so why did they not cut the lights off on her?
I'm not sure why they didn't decide to. I guess as we progressed, they started cutting the lights off, making it harder. And I know for her, she did have a previous injury, so we needed to make sure that she was
Ah,
not
blah,
hurt.
blah. The bad guy ain't gonna care if she got a broken nail.
It's more than a broken nail. It's like real liability with her stuff.
Oh, she ran
I'll
up
tell
in
you
that
about
car
that.
though. She was out. Look at that.
And somehow, this was a serious issue. There was a lot of people who would get in the car, and for some way, somehow, some reason, um, the car door would be unlocked after they try to lock it.
They thought that they they thought Phil might have had a extra key fob or somebody had a key fob because when you got to next to the door with the key fob, it automatically unlocked, and that's another thing that some people don't think about. Like when you next to the car in the car, the door's unlocked. So
Hmm.
when they got in there, did they hit it too many times or panic situation, and they unlocked the door? They didn't lock it. They thought they were locking it. It happened in my group too.
Amber has a lot to say on this issue. She said the car kept unlocking. I mean, I saw it 100 times. So this is Roy. He's one of the other guys there. There was not a lot of dudes there. Let's keep it a buck, and we need to fix that for next year. So if you're a guy and you really want to go to this, and you think that maybe you're qualified to go, and if they have a scholarship, I will recommend you for it. If you're doing the right thing and you're making content the way you should, and you think this could really benefit you.
Yeah, please don't go out there and you don't have that already settled out.
Now let me rewind it a little bit because I had the volume low.
Hey, I have a question for you. I'm supposed to meet my friends and I don't know exactly what restaurant to eat at. Are you from here? Hey, hey, what are you doing talking to her, bro? Hey. She's my girlfriend. Who's this? Is this the guy you were cheating? Hey, is this the guy you were cheating with? I'm just trying to. Are you serious? These dudes? No way. Come on, let's go. Bro, what are you doing talking to these dudes? You don't even know me.
So somehow Roy was able to get out of that situation. He's safe and sound. Happy for him.
That's crazy. I didn't even see that. He got.
Roy got
He
got
got.
bad.
It's a what they call it? A horror movie. This is how a horror
Roy,
movie start. Hey, I was like,
yeah,
listen.
Roy wasn't ready, man. Yeah.
Listen, you ain't gonna get the black man. This is like a horror movie. The black man
So,
died
and that's
first. I was like,
that's a
nope, not
thing
me.
about like, hey, lock your doors. Like, lock your doors. People will wait on you. People will come and snatch you up. People will kill you just because.
Okay, so you gotta give him a context of that too. So what happened was he probably went through like once or twice, and
Mm-hmm.
when he left out, okay, so put it in context. You leave the house or you leave your car, you're going to the grocery store, you forget to lock your doors. It's at nighttime. So that's what
Yep.
it was, right? He
Mm-hmm.
probably went to the scenario twice, and what happens after every scenario, you have to leave that area, then you come back in. So he left out and came back in. When he left out, he didn't lock his doors.
Yeah.
So when you go in the house, you didn't lock your doors. When you go to the store, you don't lock your doors. So you come out and you unlock it, or you get next to the car, you get in the car, and then that happens.
Exactly.
But
And
some of the newer cars with the key fob, it cuts all the lights on in the car, and I think that's probably why. the cars do that now, to show you who's in the car.
I mean, it's helpful. Talking about streets of ATL scenario. I guess. Let's see. Is this the same one? Did I grab the same one twice? Oh no, it's a different one. Here. Let's see.
Did that door not shut? So you supposed to also check. They give you the key and they say, "Let's see how everything works with the car." So you know how it works going into the scenario, but all this other stuff happens, and then you forget. That's the old
Right.
one. That's
And
crazy.
in life, you really you can't forget. Oh, this is a good one.
Is that a Trump sticker on the back of your car? Seriously?
He said that's a Trump stick.
No, that's really sorry. I'm actually a Biden fan.
You know what problems it's going to cause for our country? It's like, it used to be right here. I saw you went to take it off. Are you sure?
Now let me act. Okay, look at that. Look at that there. Oh my God. Now look. Okay, pause it. Pause it. Pause it. Oh, so I don't know if you paid it. Like he wanted you to keep acting out the scenario. So at that point, you should have been kicking and fighting, trying to get to your firearm, depending on where you
Mm-hmm.
carried at or whatever the situation was. And a lot of people were just pausing right there and not. And he would call scenario like they were just stopping and not doing nothing else. But he didn't call this. He didn't stop the scenario until like you sat there for a while. And you was like, okay, he got me. But a lot of people just paused, like deer in the headlights. They didn't do anything else. But what you should have been doing is fighting to fight that person to get it out the car, kick, punch, whatever, and then trying to get to your firearm to get him off. Because at that point in time, they crossed the threshold of safeness, and it was time to
Yeah.
get unsafe. It was time. What you say? Time to get active.
That's what you say. What you know. That's your thing.
Well, I mean, it's because even in my opinion, him being at the corner of that car at the end and Phil being 3 feet close to him was still kind of too close for me.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have,
To open your
extend
door, I
that.
think opens you up, especially when he's on that side. I think it opens you up to violence because he can rush in as he did. Like we'll replay that. In fact, let's replay the whole scenario. I'm gonna turn off the volume. Um, replay it from this point. He sees the people there, ain't no problem. There's just people. Doesn't see the guy behind him until boom. Oh, he does see somebody. Hey, bro, what's going on? Puts a little light on him, but if somebody's sneaking up on you like that, get the light in their face. Get it in their eyes. In fact, look at him again. Puts it at his feet. Oh, okay, cool. I
So
see
like
you.
at that point, I would have not. The moment that, and this is catch 20, whatever we see in this
I mean,
scenario. So
hindsight,
this is a
right?
good hindsight 2020, but it's a good for the viewers or people watching. Like he turns his like you never turn your back to a person or a threat or whatever, whoever it is. If he want to stand there and chat, we're gonna stand there and chat. But I'm not gonna turn my back to him with the light. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay watching at him, seeing what he's doing, watching his hands, doing
Mm-hmm.
whatever I gotta do. He approach, I'll probably keep backing up to see, keep looking, assessing the situation, assessing around the car to see if you know, there's nothing there that I can trip hazards or something that if I need to vacate or move or run or get in between or get the car in between me and him, I need to see that. But watch this. If you roll it, soon as he flashing once and then boom, back turn, game over. You know what I'm saying?
And
He about to get in the
hand
car.
goes behind,
Hand goes behind. He looked at him a second time. That was the first. He looked at him a second, but he turned. Boom. He looked. Dead man.
just like that. And I'll
Unalive, man. I'm
drag
sorry.
the slider. Boom, boom, boom. Somehow didn't get his hand taken off with the door. Doesn't lock the door because he has no time. Rips the door open, gets the knife out, cuts his
And
arm
at
up
this
pretty
point,
good.
right, he just get out the car like
I think
I'm
he carries
I'm
a firearm
unalive.
too. So he instead of doing firearm, he went light. Like the guy's breaking into your car, he's got a knife. Light him
Now,
up.
was he thinking? The question is, was he thinking like that was scenario to use the light? Because I don't know if because they ask you what firearm do you carry, and do you carry it on you? So this was another thing, just to throw this in there, so y'all don't take this out of context.
Yeah,
If you carried a firearm, he gave you that firearm or something similar to what you carry.
yeah.
If you didn't carry a firearm, there it is. That lets you know you need to be armed because he might not have carried a firearm on his person all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He might only had a flashlight, but even if he did just carry a flashlight, he still didn't, act out like okay, punch, kick, or do whatever. But so that was another tidbit. If you carry one, they gave you one. If you didn't carry one, you could have carried or not carried. So it's totally up to you. It's totally your
So,
decision.
would it have been possible to use the door to stun him? I guess it depends on the scenario. You
No.
can use whatever you want
Um.
to defend yourself, but you have to stay within legal bounds, in my opinion. What you think, Abby?
Well, at the point that he turned his back, Philip was able to get his body in between the door and and him. So him smashing that door on him, he didn't have enough power. Like real talk, he didn't have enough power to. Yeah, that's a done deal there. He smashed it. Now, right there, does he have one arm on the door? So are you holding the door with both hands, or
Hmm.
it's that's a kind of a weird situation because you can't redo that situation, right? Because it's not going to
No.
act out the same way.
Yeah, every scenario is going to play differently. It's,
Now you understand this. Phil. He know what he's doing, so
yeah,
he's well aware of what he's trying to do to get into that car.
yeah. Something. I guess he's done this
Oh,
before
I
because
wish
he
you
did
did
not.
you didn't have the other one that the girl got kidnapped, did you?
Oh, I do. I do.
Oh,
If I
y'all
can
got to
find
see
it.
this.
If I can find it.
This. Do we got time? Because I don't know
Yeah,
how
we
long
got.
we've
We
been
got.
rolling,
Yeah,
but y'all got it.
we can go on hour and 50 minutes. Let's
You,
watch
how about you send it to
that
me,
one.
and then they can make sure they tune in to watch it on my side.
Is that what you want to do? We could do that too.
Hey,
Um,
that one is just people got to see that. But you see it, I'm not gonna be well. I probably could do it live, stream it live, but the people that's watching need to see that. That was funny. It wasn't funny, but it was funny.
is this the? Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Now, mind you, this is somebody's scenario. Is you got your wife in the car, you follow her to the car. She's in the car. Be a gentleman, shut the door, do whatever. You walk around. He's getting in the car. Still dark out. Now
Pitch
watch
black.
this. Pitch black. He gets in the car. He's looking. Whatever's happening, he's look at this. Out of there. Gone.
Gone.
She's kidnapped. Bam, in the truck.
We're gonna have to work on her.
Called scenario.
Yeah, send that to me. Send that to
Yeah,
me.
I'm gonna send it to you.
So if I don't know if they paid attention, it was a guy on his driver's side. So it was a two-man operation. It was a guy on his driver's side that took his attention away from what was going on, and then the other guy came around side and opened the door and grabbed her out. But once again, they got in the car and didn't unlock the doors, and didn't lock the doors. So there that is.
Oh
Boom.
no, he did. He hit the alarm, but for some reason that door didn't fully lock. And it,
Well,
I've
you
had
got to hit it.
cars. I've
You got to
had
hit it
cars
twice.
where the remote lock wasn't doesn't work properly, and so you got to know your car too. You got to know what works, what doesn't work, what locks, what doesn't lock.
Well, if you hit the lock on the car, it locks all the doors. But if sometimes you hit the lock on the key fob, it only locks yours. You got to hit it
Right.
twice. But they gave you the keys and told you to make sure the car works and know how it works.
Yeah.
Because even in my scenarios, I walked out, and before I got 2 feet from, like as soon as I was walking to the car, I cut all the lights on. I unlocked the car just because I wanted to see the lights. I wanted to see the lights in behind, and I wanted to see the lights in front because I couldn't see them dark corners.
Can't lock the
2-man
doors at night.
operation.
Um, let's hear that again. I heard it. I heard it honking like boom, 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 like he used the remote. And
Was
who
that
locks the
was
car with the remote on the inside?
is that Phil? Is that Phil twice, or did he go one side and he go to the other?
The only time Phil shows up is from behind there, and he
Okay, I thought it
goes
was two
to check
people.
the door.
Okay. Because what is he looking at? See, never mind.
What was that? No, why did it unlock? That was weird.
The noise of her laughing because she gets snatched.
No. Why did the car honk again?
Hey man, we would never know.
We will never know. Anyways, wife gets kidnapped. They call scenario. And freaking roosters on the steps. I thought it was Phil and Santi in the corner. I'm unsure of where Santi was in that one, but there was a lot of fascinating scenarios with a lot of fascinating people, and they all played out a little bit differently. Who's in this one? I'm not going to play this one. Oh, this is interesting because she's a no gun girl, as in she doesn't carry. And her, I think we were working through her getting loud, her getting in people's faces.
Excuse me. Is your car?
Hi.
Is this your car?
Nope.
Why are the lights off?
Nope. I don't know. I guess it's
I
dark
can't
outside.
see it. Why are the lights off? It's dark.
Yeah, it's dark outside today. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I help you?
Nope.
Are you here by yourself?
No, I'm on legs.
Somebody in the shadows right there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're here by yourself, you can use some help.
Man, I'm low-key right in the middle of the pitch, bro.
Have a good night.
Like, dead center of the pitch. You trying to get freaky.
She's like, this is too much. I'm going to call the police. Bye. What's she doing?
When is he calling scenario?
It's too much for her. She's like, nah, I'm straight.
Yeah. They call scenario. I didn't get his explanation, but more or less, like as you kind of walk through, you see certain stuff play out, and you see her do the good idea of like, okay, she's talking to somebody, she's trying to be respectful, she feels like she has good distance. He starts approaching, light goes up to the face, boom.
But she caught in between the car and him. So
Yeah.
her
I
out
mean,
is
she
out
needs
is
to
no
like
go.
sidestep out the way, but also she can't see what's in the kind of like the dark side of the car. But also his hand's starting to go behind the back. You can see that. And he's bladed slightly, so she can't really tell what's about to go down.
Well, if you're here by yourself, you can use some help. Have a good night.
And now she can see movement on the other side. Guys on his cell phone doing nothing. But
Oh, so
also,
she seen that. She probably backed up after she seen that.
yeah, she can see him on the other side moving around a little bit. And she's like, nah, it's a setup. I gotta go. Are you serious? I had an alarm set for the wrong time. It's just 11 p.m.
Hopefully, this ain't that song you playing. Yeah.
Nah. Anyways, I think we got it. I think we got it.
If the ball's in the box.
Is there anything that you wanted to add before we start wrapping up? I know, we kind of tell people who you are. Is that your son?
No. Yeah, that's my son in the corner on his thing talking.
You gotta hit him with the flashlight, bro.
You too loud, man. I can hear you. That's real life, real see. He down here gaming, and
that is what it is.
He down here gaming, and I'm on the podcast. No respect.
Right.
No respect.
Family,
no respect.
right?
Family.
Family.
No, that was about it. Everybody go subscribe to the Pop Culture 223 podcast on YouTube, and I should be doing my video about some of my scenarios, and probably this week. I'm probably gonna have it done and post it. Probably won't be live.
Did you get any carjacking videos?
I did. I got him with the that carjacking video. Them carjacking scene was too intense. There was Man, they came
Oh,
at me
I
like
gotta
4
see
or
if anyone
5.
has my carjacking because mine was
So
insane.
I got some good footage because I got the Ray Bans and I had my phone over there on the other side. So I did get some good carjacking videos. Um, it was a different experience because you caught in a car and I was just like car is not where you want to be at. So it was too
Hmm.
much going on. Like I said, to be watching it when you watching it, it's like okay, it's cool. But when you get in the car and these people coming around you, you don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? You don't really know what's going on.
Nah, yeah, absolutely no idea what could possibly
Now,
play out, especially when there's just like people having medical events, people doing this and people doing that, people getting ready to jump you. Like,
I like how you blurred that out. That was smooth.
I don't think I did. I think it just happened to blur.
Oh, I
Um,
thought that might have been for the powers that be.
Excellent. Yeah. My,
But I got some carjacking scenarios.
yeah. I'm gonna let you kind of take point on those, um, just because I
Hey,
know people. I'm just showing just a little bit, give them a little taste, but they need to get over there. They need to make sure they subscribe because you're probably gonna drop that in like probably next few days. So
yeah,
they don't want to miss out. Hmm.
yeah.
All right, let's back out of this. Go here. I gotta build this freaking scene out a little bit better. Um, look you in the eyes, guys. Thank you so much for watching, listening, wherever you are. My name is Aaron, and if you want to win this can be yours. I mean, there's an unopened one right there. It's yours. Um, check the pinned comment in the live stream chat and click that link. Sign up. Um, you can increase your chances to win. I'll give you like 10 entries if you support us on YouTube as a member or even Discord. You can buy membership in Discord. That really helps out a lot. But if you don't want to do all that, you can basically get a free entry by just being in the Discord community chat. Heavy's there. So if you want to talk to Heavy, that's a cool way to do it. Or you could just send him a DM. I think he'll answer you. I
Please reach
think.
out. Please, I need all the support we can get.
Yeah. But go freaking blow up his podcast. Maybe buy some of the merch. Did you see the merch on his head? Bro, do you still sell that shirt? The one with the little dude?
Yep. If you go to heavymetallife.com, I think he's the eight gig guy, 8 gig guy,
8-bit?
8 bit.
Yeah.
The homeboy free OG. One of my homeboys designed this shirt. Me and him. So they're on there. It's heavymetallife.com. All the swag is up. It's been up. So go check that out.
Excellent stuff, man. Well, I appreciate you being here. Let's go ahead and end it now. And you guys be good or be good at it or something
Yeah,
like that, right?
I appreciate Iron man. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you not being a gatekeeper.
Thanks,
That's what
man.
I'm
I
gonna say.
appreciate that. No more gatekeeping. It's lame.
No more gatekeeping. Slay.
All right.
All right,
Peace,
brother.
guys.